Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Blue, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods. You know, we got them down here. We got, of course, more football gods up there. We got another one over here. We are just really, really godly around here when it comes to football gods. One thing I do want to mention real quick. You'll see this green and orange thing around Joe Boo's neck. No, it's not a noose. When I was at the Pro Football Hall of Fame for the parade in the morning, we met some Miami Dolphin fanatics that were there, and he had these bracelets that he had, his wife had made and stuff, and he was giving them to any Miami Dolphin fans that he saw. Well, he didn't see too many of them, and he got talking to me and everything else, and I said, well, I know a Miami Dolphin fan, and I can give it to you. So you know how it is. Brother Roz, that is actually for you, and it came from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Roz, who is now a TikTok extraordinaire. No, he's not one of those women that are dancing, you know, with all the ugly clothes on and they bounce and all of a sudden they're in a hot dress. No, he's not doing that. Thank God he's not doing that. No, he's actually, along with D2 Stu, working on our Discord channel in fantasy football. And come Saturday, let me say again, Saturday at 3:30, we'll start our live stream with 4 o'clock being our fantasy football draft. You know, I'm the GM here, and I got D2 Stu as, the owner, and I got D2 Stu, who's my GM, who's going to be helping me to make sure that I don't fuck it up like Jimmy Johnson did. So if you have become one of the ones that are going to be in our fantasy football, or if you want to, I'll put the link for the Discord in the description, so that way you can become part of it. We'll be doing another draft for some more of the leagues the following weekend as well, so it's not too late to join. In the meantime, let's get on to business with the Dallas Cowboys. Guys, this is the last practice in Oxnard. Training camp's over. We go play the Cardinals tomorrow night, and wow, they head back to Dallas. Now, we had Dak Prescott, who we heard yesterday is getting a second MRI. Some people, I know Philly 500 is like, there's something really wrong with them and everything else. Somebody who would know about a quarterback that has a lot of problems with them, hence they had Carson Wentz, who was still dealing with some issues. What they say is, in the practices, Dak's been throwing, no pains, no complications, no setbacks. They want to do another MRI, they say, just to double check, to compare to the first one, to make sure it's healed right. They don't want this to be something that lingers. None of us want this to be something that lingers. Interesting take. With Dak getting the contract that he did, although it doesn't look quite as bad now that Josh Allen's gotten his. And as other quarterbacks will be getting their contracts, down the road here in a year or so, we're going to look back and say it was a good thing Cowboys went ahead and took care of Dak and got that contract done instead of franchise tagging him again. Dak was asked about throwing for 6,000 yards if he can get Peyton Manning's record of, I believe, 5,447 yards. He was on pace last year for 6,300. And so, of course, if you have the opportunity to beat something that Peyton Manning did, that's doing something great. However, this was Dak's response. I don't want to throw for 6,000 yards, to be honest. That means we're not running the football. That means we're probably not doing the things we need to do to be a balanced, winning team. Sure, it'd be great to have those numbers and to break that, or I have the record or whatever it is. But it's not something that I put in my head. As I said, I want to be the best offense in the NFL, and I think the best way you can do that is if you're not throwing for as many yards. And our running game is working, and we're playing complementary football, and we're winning a lot of games. And I think if that's the case, then hopefully I'm not playing as many fourth quarters to come back and do those 2-minute drills we are doing in the first 5 games that got me a lot of those numbers. Which there's a lot to that, because when you think about it, what you hope to do, let's get most of our passing done in the first half and coast the second half, run out the clock and running Zeke. I'm all for that. If you look back in the history of football, Tony Romo had a lot of great seasons. But you look at 2014 and say, oh, my God, Tony Romo was incredible. The reality is because DeMarco Murray was running for 1,800 yards, Tony Romo didn't have to throw for 5,000 yards. It was actually like 3,500 yards passing. It was balanced. It kept the defenses from having, knowing we can pin our ears back and go after you in the football. You want to keep them guessing. This is where I look at this offense and see it can be so dynamic that there's literally nothing you can't run from every formation. You take 12 personnel. I've seen them do this against the Rams a couple of years ago, but you have 2 tight end sets, right? With Dalton Schultz and Blake Jarwin, they both now, we know they can catch the football. You have Zeke Elliott, you have Tony Pollard, single back. You can go ahead and split one of the tight ends out wider. You can take the running back and put him in a passing formation and go from empty backfield. And see, starting out in that kind of formation, a defense may come out with 8 men in the box because they're thinking it's a run-heavy formation. But now all of a sudden you got 5 wideouts. And you're catching them with their pants down, right? You got a Tony Pollard who you've worked out in OTAs as a wide receiver. You've got CeeDee Lamb, who is amazing. You got Amari Cooper, who's back off the PUP list. You got Michael Gallup. They're interchangeable. You can move them all over the field. You can create mismatches. You make it difficult for the guy who's trying to be man on just one guy because he's going to have to chase them all over the field. And this is where Dak is correct. Typically, if you are running the football, it's to go ahead and destroy the defense. Typically, it's because you've got the lead and you're not chasing them. When you're scoring a whole lot of points, and make no mistake about it, Drew Brees, 5 of his best years, passing numbers-wise, were in losing seasons where they were 7-9. So let's hope that Dak is right, that we're not having to do a whole lot of comeback games, that we're able to actually get a lead and hold on to it and run out the clock. That would be my hope as well. But if you need to be in a shootout, Dak Prescott, hopefully the shoulder's okay, with the weapons he has, can be a quick strike team. So that's the first part of this morning's video. The second part of this video is Mike McCarthy the right guy? Charlie Fuck Around? Austin Powers? I still believe now, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm full of myself, as a lot of people say. But spread the mojo moments. I'm all for spreading the mojo. We all know I'm all for spreading the mojo. Is it really, though, Austin Powers? I tell you what I liked. And again, we're watching a reality show in Hard Knocks. So you're only getting a taste. You're getting stuff that's made for the dramatic. We don't actually see everything that's going on. But what I did like was seeing Micah Parsons excited, then being coached by Dan Quinn, explaining the things he did right and a couple of things that need to be worked on. Seeing Micah Parsons then ready to get out there and work on them right now. And then Dan Quinn being able to say, hey, I know it. I got you. But now's not the time. Seeing that dynamic of this raging bull ready to go and seeing this gentle hand that can control that rage, that's the kind of thing I want to see out of my coaching. We'll see how Mike McCarthy does, but, some people will say, well, Mike McCarthy, he's not the guy. But see, you have to understand something. Tom Landry here, in a different era, was the offensive and defensive coordinator. He was everything. Everything. But now in life, in everything is specialized, you know? When you search something, it's catered to what you searched to in the past. Everything is micro-managed. And that's how it is with a football team. You have so many different position coaches. Hell, you have almost as many coaches as you do players on the field. And the job of the head coach isn't necessarily the one to be the rah-rah guy, the guy that's in there coaching and teaching and everything else. He is like the CEO whose job it is to put people in positions to succeed and to make sure they have what they need to do the job. Most CEOs don't know how to make the sausage. And as Jimmy Johnson put it at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the reason I'm here is because not of everything that I did. I'm here because of all the coaches that I had underneath me that did what they did to make the Cowboys succeed. And I see a guy like Dan Quinn, who is definitely one of those guys that will help this team succeed. And I think, personally, Dan Quinn is not that fit at head coach per se, as well as he is being that coordinator. Time will tell. We'll see if this defense makes major changes and improvements. And if they do, you got to point to the talent we got on the field and the guy who knew what to do with them. All right, y'all. Tonight we may do a live stream following the Eagles as well as the New York the Washington football team, and just kind of hang out and just start getting into the rhythm of that stuff. But as always, friends, I want to thank you all for watching.
Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.
You did one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is,